Hey everyone, welcome to Redmen. Over on Redmen Plus, we've got an amazing show each and every week called Journo Insight with Neil Jones. This is a segment from that where we discuss Marco Asensio, heavily linked of late with a move from Real Madrid to Liverpool. Here's what goals Neil Jones has to say on it. Zenevdro 9450, which I believe is a newcomer to the Club Legend team. Well done. I have one. What are his thoughts on the new Marco Asensio news that he will cut his wages to join us? Yes, Sport are claiming he'd now be available for 25 million because his contract's up next year. Reduced wage demands. How likely to Liverpool?
It's not news. Let's have it back. It's not news. It's a new rumour. I think he's not going to come to Liverpool. Marco Asensio, he's actually a player that when he's on blob, as people say, I love watching him. Like he's technically beautiful, like just a fine footballer, real class sort of player. Liverpool, total nonsense was the dismissal from Liverpool in terms of it just doesn't fit what they're looking for. Age, wages, pedigree, position, style of play. Don't think he fits the bill. He's obviously probably needs to move out of Real Madrid, doesn't he? I don't think he's ever going to be there. Get the level that he wants to be at in terms of game time. They've obviously got the forward line nailed down really with the two Brazilians and Karim Benzema. The midfield's pretty much nailed down for the next decade, it looks like, as well.
Hey, sorry to interrupt. We've got a sponsor this week, and it is the Last Fan Standing show over on the Bet Victor YouTube channel. I am on that show most weeks, and in fact, this week as well. Here's a little clip coming up. Make sure you go over there, drop a like on it, leave your thoughts, and basically say, mate, or Redmen sent me in the comments underneath.
Liverpool just need him to be good on his day at this point, because that's the difference between Haaland and the Haaland signing and the Núñez signing. City need Haaland to integrate instantly, pretty much. They need him to come in and hit the ground running and be the guy who hit the ground running at Salzburg and hit the ground running at Dortmund, because that's what they've put all their eggs into that basket of, whereas Liverpool haven't done that with Núñez. There's a very realistic chance he doesn't even start the season for Liverpool. It's as likely that it would be Diaz, Jota and Salah, or Diaz, Firmino and Salah as it is to have Núñez in those starting lineups. So for the short term, good on his day. I think there's enough raw materials there for him to be a quality player. To hazard a guess at the Club Legend for Liverpool when they've not kicked the ball, when we're talking about bars being raised, I mean, you're talking about the best players ever to play the game who end up as Club Legends at Liverpool. So, that's a tough ask to ask him to be more than that if he is great. But I'm somewhere between quality player and good on his day is absolutely fine for us.
Yeah, always a good laugh. Yeah, do head over there, drop a like on the video, leave your comment saying that I sent you over there as well. And if you want to throw some opinions and shade on my fellow guests there, it's an interesting show. It's a really fun show. We do it each and every week. So yeah, get involved over on that channel. And anyway, back to Neil Jones and his Journo Insight.
So it's I think it's one to just roll your eyes at and say, look, he's going to have to go somewhere this summer, or if not next summer, but I don't expect it to be Liverpool.
It doesn't. The whole thing on that. It's a name. So, and again, it feels like, and you have these transfer rumours now, which are old school Liverpool transfer rumours, and it's playing for a top European side. Yeah, exactly. Just like, so you've heard of him, but you know that he's not the main man at that football club. And I think we forget sometimes where Liverpool are at. Yeah. And look, Real Madrid just beat Liverpool in the Champions League final. So you could. I'm sure Real Madrid fans would happily spin this point on its head, but Liverpool are not
buying squad players,
bottom feeding off the top teams.
I think just look again. We talk about Sterling really, but you look at where does he fit in? Where does he play at Liverpool? He doesn't play at Real Madrid. What does he get there? He doesn't swap Real Madrid's bench for Liverpool's starting lineup. He doesn't. We know the players Liverpool have got. We're all interested to see how they're going to fit those players in. Never mind adding another one to the mix. They've just signed Fabio Carvalho, who plays 2 or 3 different positions, between the midfield and the attack. In that sense, they've obviously got Harvey Elliott there, who is another one of those who can. I think you can imagine him in 2 or 3 different positions if let's say you play the 4-2-3-1, I think you could imagine him in at least 3 of those positions. So are you going to keep? Are you going to add a 27? Is 27? Is he 28?
26.
Or 26. So you're going to add a player who's coming into, you know, what, he's 7 years older than those two. You know, you're going to add a player into him in the way of those players, and you know, whatever his wage demands are. Are you going to do that? I don't think Liverpool are.
He fits the, like, again.
He's a fine player, by the way.
Yeah,
I mean, he played really well against Liverpool in the Champions League in the pandemic season, didn't he? I think he scored actually.
He's a good player, but it's, you know, he predominantly played right wing for Real Madrid, and so you could make the case, and I've heard people make this case, is that who's Mo Salah's understudy, and you've named a few names there, but having not seen enough of it, I think there's just the surety of, like, well, you're buying a name that we've all heard of at this sort of level. You don't buy Marco Asensio to be Mo Salah's understudy.
No.
What you want, and this is why it's so hard, is you either have a young lad or lads who you can bring up and hope that they can impact and hope that they can rise to stardom, or you buy someone better. And of course, you can't buy anyone better than Mo Salah at this point. So all you're effectively doing is, this has got the Sal Niguez move written all over the game.
I actually was thinking, that name popped into my head when this started, because there was a time when I think the Spanish media would have had you believe that was just a matter of time. You know, I remember another one years ago. This is a real flash from the past. Remember Gaston Ramirez?
Yes, of course.
When he was at Bologna, I think it was, and it was just like, well, he's signing for Liverpool, and everything was just, he's not signing for Liverpool. I'll promise you, he's not signing for Liverpool.
That was the one and only direct time I was told by someone at Liverpool will not be signing Gaston Ramirez.
Really?
Yeah. And that was to come back to our conversation the other week about how it can be quite scary when you're handed something, but it's so believable.
Yeah.
You don't want to put your reputation on the line to say it's not happening, because I'm
happy to put my reputation on the line with Marco Asensio. On this one, I don't think it's going to happen. I think he's trying to get out of the club. I mean, we had what was the one quite recently? I'm trying to think. It was Altavia, wasn't it? On last week. Same issue. You know, a player that's probably going to be on the move. Liverpool, Manchester United, Chelsea, Arsenal, Manchester City. They're not bad teams to link. You know, if you're looking to sniff out people who are maybe on the fence over whether to do it. If you think, 25 minutes and Liverpool are keen, you know, you sort of think, I know that's an easy sort of tactic to go for.
Well, we were joking earlier and we mentioned, like, you know, Arsenal and that kind of stuff. This is the kind of rumour that gets you to move to Arsenal or to get you a move to another one of those Champions League chasing clubs. And that's where I could see that he could be a major coup for one of those type of clubs.
He could.
But that's what it has, that vibe to me, as I said, about it feeling like an old school Liverpool transfer rumour where clearly a good football player, but if you're going to make a move for Marco Asensio, then you've got to have a plan, I think. I don't think he's one you go, and we'll get him, because that's where you end up with Saul, where you're picking someone because he's a name and he's played at a decent level. Yeah. But it's like again, you could see him ended up at Chelsea because of the way Chelsea are conducting themselves at the moment, where you go, well, I've heard of this guy, let's kind of get him in. But Liverpool just don't do business like that anymore.
No, I mean, they do sign players, or they have signed players of sort of 25, 26, but they have been players that there's a way of them fitting in, and I don't see it with Asensio. Before he signed, I didn't see Luis Diaz as being the obvious sign, and then as soon as you sign, you go, that's where he fits in. Jota, I think I actually did see that as a sign that you thought, I see why they've gone for him. He plays that kind of style. Mane, Salah, straight away you saw them fit in. Thiago. Yeah, I mean, Thiago's a different one in the sense of Thiago was one that probably, I wouldn't say an indulgent signing, but it's probably one that, like, a luxury of, look, we've worked hard to get to this level, you know, we can get a boss one here. Like we'll do a.
I'm getting the pearlescent paint on me. Because I got that bonus this year.
Yeah, absolutely. I think he was a bit different, but Nunes and Carvalho are sort of a bit younger, but again, you see the style and the growth. I just think Asensio's probably just in the middle in terms of everything. He's all right, and he plays kind of in the right positions. He's certainly not a Salah understudy. You couldn't try and play the same way with him on the right instead of Salah. You might be able to play different ways, but he certainly wouldn't be a a right winger that you go, right, okay, Salah's out for 3 months, Marco Asensio is going to score us 15 goals. You know, it doesn't feel realistic at all. Liverpool don't really play with a number 10. I don't think he's going to play down the left. They've got a couple, so I don't know. It's just hard to see him fitting in. And I actually do think that I hope that in a couple of months, I think Carvalho might be the one that people are just looking at and saying, what were we even thinking about? Sort of wondering if we needed another forward. You know, there we go. We'll have him.
No, and that's it. We keep having this. This is like a recurring theme of the last few weeks of like trying to analyse Liverpool's transfer business. Fabio Carvalho is either just another lad, or he's a big part of what Liverpool are planning, and we've got no idea of quite what he's going to look like. Everyone can envisage Nunes. Yeah, but it's harder to envisage what he is.
I think it's just an unusual. It's an unusual path, isn't it? Really, that like, can you be that good if you were playing in the Championship? You know, like, can you? You know, but he is. Well, to Liverpool, he is. You know, I've spoken to people about him, and they do say, like, they're really excited about it, and it won't be long before he's showing it. You know, maybe the fuss comes with the fee a little bit, and because he's come from Fulham, it isn't quite sort of held up the same way. But you know, he's a level above where Harvey Elliott was at when he came to Liverpool, and we see how exciting Harvey Elliott is. You know, now he's got a lot more under his belt than Elliott had when he turned up. I think Elliott said he's one of his favourite players he's ever played with coming through. I honestly have a feeling that he might just become this sort of player in pre-season where everyone just goes, woof, wow, where have they got this guy from?
Yeah, well, we talked about a couple of the lads who we don't think will make it onto the tour, but you think about like Muzelski's as an example, who are very highly rated, and there's a lot of people who are hyping them up at that young age, but he's not getting near the first team squads.
I think
and
on
stuff.
The bench, for the first, you know, and there's been other players, contemporaries who've played and been there. You know, he hasn't yet. You know, I think Kay Gordon's got massive potential, but even he, you know, I think he's potentially a real player. But Carvalho's like 2 years above him in terms of, you know, age and experience. So if we're excited about Kay Gordon, I think we should be really excited about Fabio Carvalho.
I think that makes perfect sense. I hope that's put that to bed neatly for everyone. Apologies.
Thanks for the question, though.
Yeah,
sorry
absolutely. Yeah, apologies to Marco Asensio's agent as well.
Yeah. Don't forget to subscribe to the YouTube channel if you enjoyed that video, and if you want more from us, or you want to support the free stuff that we do here, then please do check out redmenplus.com, our Liverpool streaming service. It's like Netflix for Reds, where we get to chat to Liverpool legends, past and present. We've got great interviews there with Virgil van Dijk, with Jamie Carragher, with Phil Thompson, and loads more as well. Get closer to the fabric of Liverpool, the football club, and the city on Redmen Plus.